Hello and welcome to the Cookie Crew. Hi. The Cookie Crew is a brand new YouTube site dedicated to anti-racism. Now, because the Cookie Crew is a YouTube site, let me introduce who the Cookie Crew actually is. The Cookie Crew is a group of 3 best friends. Kaylee, who is the administrator for the YouTube site and keeps everything running behind the scenes, me, Aura, the vlogger, and Taylor, who will be guest starring in some of her own videos for the Cookie Crew, but actually has her own special blog. The link to that will be underneath the video. Like I said before, the Cookie Crew will be dedicated to anti-racism. So, to get into that, we have to define what is racism. Racism is discrimination based on a person's color, the color of their skin to be exact, based on their actual race, and based on their ethnicity. Now, these things don't exactly have to be the same, which can be confusing. There are also 2 different kinds of racism, in my opinion. There's external racism, which is white people against African Americans against Latin Americans against white people, Asians against Latin Americans, things like that. Internal racism is, say, lighter-skinned black people against darker-skinned black people, or Mexicans versus Guatemalans. And these are not very far-fetched ideas. It has been shown throughout history that there is as much internal racism as there is external racism. This needs to be stopped. This video will be primarily to educate the viewer, you the viewer, on what the different types of racism are and how they can be shown. So, starting with external racism, you already pretty much know a lot about that already if you're from the United States, which is from where I'm from, and that is where I have the most of my experience. Then I'm pretty sure you have seen external racism. White people going up to black people and saying rude things to them, black people saying rude things about white people, calling them crackers, things like that. People talking about how Asians always have to be smart. That's a type of racism. Yes, you may be joking, but that's racism, and it's wrong to say. There are types of internal racism are saying, I thought you were Mexican, not Puerto Rican. You're such a coward. Or look at that N-word over there. His skin is so dark. Like, things like that. I've experienced a lot of internal racism from Latin Americans, so please excuse the fact that I actually do not have a lot of other internally racist examples. But it's out there. It's something that needs to be controlled. And not controlled as in like a virus that needs to be quarantined. It just needs to it needs people to become aware of it. That this is a horrifying thing that people go through. Racism can kill, and it has killed, and it will probably strike again. And this site is a way of fighting that. Another thing about racism is based on the color of the skin. I know that internal and external racism, you may think applies to all 3 of the different things that racism discriminates against, but it doesn't really. It is mostly for those races who discriminate against other races. Races who discriminate on each other based on the color of their skin can also be external and internal racism, but not necessarily. It's not always true. From my experience, I have been discriminated against because of my light skin tone. I'm actually Mexican. And yes, although that's hard to believe, there's a lot of people my color out there who are Mexican. We speak perfect Spanish, we have all the accents, we're Mexican. But other Latin Americans don't believe us. Even white people and black people and Asians and Indians and the Italians, because they consider themselves a different race for some reason. They don't accept that. Italians aren't really their own race. Ha. But that's just the way it is. That's what I have had to deal with. I've had people test my knowledge of Spanish. I've had people make me read their horoscope in Spanish, translating from English to Spanish and then back from Spanish to English. I've had people who come up to me speaking only Spanish and I've had to converse with them, and then afterwards they'll be like, "Oh, I speak English." It's a horrifying thing. It has hurt me. I have spent several times just depressed by the fact that I am not accepted by my own culture. And that's what these people are going through. They're not accepted. And acceptance is a key part of being in not only our nation's community, but in the global community. And that's what wars are based on. Whole war is based on discrimination. And that's wrong. So please continue watching our videos. Next time, which will be Friday, I will have another video speaking a little more specifically about external racism. Today was supposed to be more of the definition of racism and how racism has affected our lives. I hope you got a lot of information out of this. I hope you'll get more information as our videos continue to develop and get better. Thank you. Thanks for watching the Cookie Crew. Bye.